Cancel culture is getting cancelled and it's about time. The left wants us to sit down and shut up. But conservatives won't stand for being cancelled. We're winning. In movies, music, books, and even comic books, conservative voices are finally being heard. And the cancel culture leftists are having a national anger fest about it as they try to bully conservatives back into silence. The latest example is country artist Jason Aldean, but he's hardly the only one. Aldean's anthem was about how street violence, rioting, and spitting on police don't play well in a small town. His "Try That in a Small Town" in No. 1 on the iTunes country chart, and it debuted at No. 2 on Billboard's Hot 100. Not too shabby for a single the media have gone out of their way to censor. And they still can't stop whining about it. The New York Times latest was reluctantly admitting it's a culture war hit. Arizona Republic columnist Bill Gutekunst declared, "Hate sells. Just ask Jason Aldean." MSNBC's The Redoubt blog writer Jahan Jones called Aldean a race hustler, and the song essentially bigot bait. And the Daily Beast relied on an obscure historian to go to war with all of country music. Aldean is just the tip of the racist iceberg for the country music business. Aldean is the tip of a conservative revolution. It isn't about pop culture creators like J.K. Rowling, Dave Chappelle, or even Bill Maher standing up to the woke mob. This is about artists creating content that ordinary people want and will pay for. And they don't care that the media attacks what they like. Consumers are voting with their wallets. Forgiato Blow is another example. He took the No. 1 spot on iTunes with his Boycott Target song. Soon after, the Christian hip-hop song Reclaim the Rainbow by Bryson Gray and Shamika Michelle reached No. 3 on iTunes. Country singer John Rich even went around the music industry to succeed. His song Progress went No. 1 on iTunes when he released it to the video sharing site Rumble and the Donald's own social media app Truth Social. Rich's song doesn't pull punches. It slams the idea that building back better will make America great. The refrain tells the left to stick your progress where the sun don't shine. Keep your big mess away from me and mine. Not all the conservative content is as aggressive. But even when the right supports a movie against child trafficking, the media fight back against it. That didn't stop conservatives from supporting Sound of Freedom. That movie continues to have strong audience support, consistently beating the latest Tom Cruise Mission Impossible film on daily box office. The Jim Caviezel movie has brought in nearly $150 million, blowing away big Hollywood productions like The Flash, and it just passed the latest Fast and Furious flick, Fast X. The more journalists and movie critics try to sabotage the Caviezel film, the more fans go to see it. The movie brought in about $12 million this past weekend. Leftist media still want to silence it. The film they call controversial gained wide-ranging critic hate. It has been accused of profiting off conspiracy-fueled mass hysteria and being a superhero movie for dads with brainworms. Sound of Freedom isn't alone in reaching moviegoers. Jesus Revolution, the story of the real-life religious awakening during the 1970s, topped $52 million earlier this year. Even the 2022 huge hit, Top Gun: Maverick, was geared toward patriotic Americans. The Cruise sequel earned the No. 1 spot for the entire year and more than $718 million catering to Mom and Apple Pie. Conservatives have long been able to crack the New York Times bestseller list, even though the Times has been accused of manipulating the list. Right now, right-leaning authors hold 4 spots, 12 to 15. That includes Carol Roth's new You Will Own Nothing, Glenn Beck, Justin Haskins' Dark Future, and Chris Rufo's America's Cultural Revolution. Broadside Books, which specializes in conservative nonfiction, has 3 in the top 15. But it's not just traditional nonfiction books doing well. conservatives have pushed back in graphic novels and comic books. Writer and content creator Eric July brought in more than $1.7 million in pre-orders for his first comic book, Isom Number 1. That took him just 4 days. Comic book author Mike Baron, famous for writing the hard-hitting Punisher and a host of other titles, recently triumphed over a cancel culture campaign by far-left Daily Kos. He raised over $80,000 for his latest project, Private American, which he envisions as a character similar to the Punisher, an ex-Green Beret warring against the cartels on America's failed border.